Go.
Okay, let me explain the Lioness proposition. Every person we come into contact with is a consumer. They go into businesses every day of their lives, they spend their hard-earned money, and in lieu of that money, they get the goods and services, and at best, just a till receipt. Most people are very familiar with this shopping cycle. Lioness have entered the Irish marketplace. They discuss opportunities with businesses of all sizes, large businesses, small businesses, and they're wanting to achieve a discount of a minimum of 4%. When Lioness have that deal negotiated, they are then able to give their customers money back, let's call it cash back, on every single transaction. The customer has several benefits. The first one is an immediate benefit, where the customer gets 2% cash back on every transaction. This 2% is paid to the customer every single Tuesday, provided, of course, the customer achieves €10 of savings. If a customer only achieves €7 of savings this week, that is held on account. Maybe they would repeat the same shopping pattern in week 2. That's now €14, and of course the threshold has now been met of €10, where the customer is paid directly to their bank account. This payment is backed up by a text message every Tuesday, detailing to the customer, "Thank you for shopping with the Lioness Trading Stores. You have received €11.88 cash back this week, paid to your bank account." The following week it might be €18. The week after it might be €12. The week after it might be €22. So the customer gets an immediate benefit of 2%. And the fantastic thing for the customer is the card is absolutely free of charge. So now let's have a look at why a business might come on board and what is the proposition for the business owner. Well, the first reason any business might consider this option is, number one, is to hold on to their existing clientele, hold on to what's coming through their store, and no better way to keep that customer intact is to say, "Listen, we do appreciate your custom. You have been in the store before. We do appreciate your business. If you'd like to register for a free card, we're able to give you money back on every transaction. And every time you come into our store, we will give you cash back." And what the business owner does is they simply register the customer's name and address, telephone number and email address, recommended by that particular store. The shopkeeper then detaches the application. They post it to the Lioness office in Dublin, and Dublin then would forward the card to the client on the shopkeeper's behalf. From that point on, this customer is now tied to the store for life. A customer cannot get 2 cards from 2 different locations. Now, the purpose of my explanation is very, very important, because once a customer is tied to this store and they decide to go outside the store to do other shopping activities, such as, let's say you put €40 fuel in the car, well, we believe our customer is going to go to the cashback store that gives discount on petrol. In the current portfolio of clients, we've got Tesco on board with their petrol stations wherever they are available, so our customers can get cash back when they fill up with fuel. Most homes these days are 2-car families, so in that respect we've got his and her car. Let's keep the maths small, €40 per car on fuel as a weekly expenditure. We also need to buy groceries on a weekly basis. Let's say the average family spent €120 on shopping there, and on other activities. This week it's school uniforms, next week it's shoes, the week after it's out in the restaurant, the week later they need ink for their printer. So these customers are spending money residually over and over and over again every week. I believe the average customer is spending in or around €250 per week on its shopping activities. So let's now have a look at some other benefits for the business owner. Number one, customer retention. Number two is the ability to win back old customers that are not coming into the store. Wouldn't it be brilliant for this shopkeeper to try and draw back old customers that are not currently coming into the store? No better way again to say, "We do appreciate your custom in the past. We'd like to register for a free card, and every time you return to our store, we will give you money back on every transaction." The third reason a business will come on board is to achieve new customer, new business. This is absolutely brilliant. Music to the business owner's ears that, number one, we have the ability to retain existing clients. Number two, the potential to draw back old customers that are not currently in the store. Number three, to get a brand new customer entering the premises is absolutely fantastic. But now let me tell you about a fourth benefit. The fourth benefit is we're prepared to pay the shopkeeper a commission every time this client spends money outside the customer store. We've already agreed that the average customer is spending about €250 a week in shopping. So if I were to suggest that the typical shopkeeper give out just 3 cards in a day, let's say we annualize this, that would be 1,000 cards this shop would have handed out for free to their clients over the year. As these customers are spending about €250 a week, we can safely say that the typical customer is spending about €1,000 a month on shopping, which gives this shopkeeper a brand new turnover of €1 million every single month. We're very happy to share 1% of all transactions done with this shopkeeper's customers. 1% of €1 million turnover would represent an extra €10,000 per month. Again, if we annualize that, based on these maths, you're talking about $120,000 per annum of brand new revenue. I like to put this in under the roof of the shopkeeper because this is a new income stream that this shopkeeper currently isn't tapping into by using its existing client actually shopping elsewhere. Now, many of the small business and town centres are complaining about the big guys pulling business, local business, out of town. We're now championing for the little shopkeeper because now we can say when this customer slips off to the big store, you now can draw back 1% out of the likes of Tesco, PC World, Currys, B&Q and Argos. Absolutely fantastic proposition for the shopkeeper. Now we've got customer retention intact, the ability to win back old customers, the ability to draw in new customers, and a brand new revenue source. Let me now talk about the costs for the business owner. There are 3 costs. The first one is a commitment to the project. What we call it is a down payment for future purchases. This is a deposit on account. This €2,000 remains the ownership of this business owner. It does not belong to Lioness. The customer lodges this through the Bank of Ireland to the Lioness account, and it's very transparent for the shopkeeper to see this €2,000 deposit on account. Many people are familiar with down paying. We down pay on kitchens, we down pay on our property, we down pay on a car. This down payment for future purchases can be shopped out at the owner's discretion. If for any reason the shopkeeper would like to redeem or draw back this €2,000, they're perfectly entitled to shop it out with any of our trading stores. Basically what I'm saying here is, if this shopkeeper is to gain 1% out of the tills of these big stores are expecting the shopkeeper to spend at least €2,000 within the buying group. Let me give you an example. Let's say this shopkeeper is a pizza parlour or maybe a florist shop or possibly a baker, and at some point in the future they decide to purchase a van to do home deliveries. Okay, let's say we introduce a van dealership, and this particular van would say cost €20,000. Because this van dealership or car dealership or garage is a Lioness partner, as is this shopkeeper with their €2,000 down payment, they're perfectly entitled to move that €2,000 to the other trading partner because they have done a down payment for a future purchase, which is the van, and of course they can go and pick up their van for the balance. There's one rule. This down payment must reflect the level of discount offered by the store they're spending it in. In other words, for this to work in one move, this garage dealer must be offering 10%, because 10% of the purchase price is €2,000, and you can see how that works quite well. If for any reason the van dealership suggests to us that in the current economic climate we cannot offer 10%, let's keep this simple. Let's say they offered us a 5% deal. In that respect, the shopkeeper could use 1,000 of the down payment towards the van, and they then could spend the other 1,000 in various other transactions through these other stores. But the discount must reflect, or the deposit must reflect, the level of discount offered by the store. So that's the first cost. It's a deposit, it's a commitment, it's not a charge or a registration. This is a commitment to our project. It's a down payment for future purchases. There are 2 other costs. The second cost that will be applied to a business owner is they're going to require a terminal so that they can swipe our card. We have 3 different types of terminals. We've got this wireless broadband terminal, very often used in restaurants and hotels. We've got the typical hardwired terminal, which is at the point of sale, at the till. And then we've got this virtual terminal, which is a software or PC-based terminal. It's based on a scanning device tied to some software. The cheapest one is €390. The standard one that most people go for is about €660. Whilst this is a cost, of course, that would be a tax-deductible cost to any business. The nice thing about the Lioness terminals is there are no charges for transactions and there's no ongoing monthly rental, unlike other familiar terminals that Visa and MasterCard may use. Every 2 years, I do believe there may be some kind of maintenance charge just done. I think it's €80. But essentially, without a monthly rental or a transaction charge, this is very inexpensive for any business to participate in the Lioness model. And of course, the final cost would be the application and flyer. Lioness provide to the business owner at a cost of €2 per booklet. This is a 50-page booklet, and at the back where you register the customer, once that's detached and sent to the Lioness office, we leave the remainder of the booklet with the client. This booklet is 50 pages. It's a reference point for the consumer. It explains a little bit about our company and how the model works. It talks about the various ways we can shop with our cashback card, with some of our voucher partner shops. It talks about how we buy stuff on the internet. It talks about the cashback and how that works. Every Tuesday you will receive money back into your bank account. Minimum pay is £10. So all the detail is now left with the customer as a reference point. It talks about some of the good things we do for charities. It refers to some of the business partners we have on board, both nationally and internationally, terms and conditions, etc. This booklet, 50 pages, probably couldn't be printed for €2. But we charge €2 for the booklet, and that includes not only the booklet, it includes the production of the card, the postage of the card to the client on behalf of the shopkeeper. It also includes the tracking, because this business owner is able to track exactly every transaction done whilst these customers are shopping elsewhere. Now, this can be cash flowed into any business. I mean, if we're talking about 3 cards a day, you're talking 20 booklets a week. So any business could cash flow that at 30 or 40 or 50 euro a week as and when they require the booklets. And with that, that's the proposition for the business owner. The customer wins, the business wins, and of course, Lioness also wins, because Lioness take 1% of every transaction. Lioness is the facilitator. It facilitates the partnership between these partner stores that we introduce and the customer base, and they take 1% of every transaction to work their operations.
Brilliant, Leo.